Well, this is called Cave 4. This, as you can see, is not a natural cave. There may have been something here originally. It's an artificially hollowed out cave for the purpose of storage of manuscripts. If you look, you'll actually see holes where they probably had shelves, shelf bar holes, just like a modern library. And this was the motherlode of all the Dead Sea Scrolls, what we call the Qumran manuscripts. In here were, no one's done a final reckoning, there must have been maybe 375,000 fragments of manuscripts in here, just piled up almost to the top, mixed with bat guana, mud, dung, everything you can think of that had piled up over the years. So when they finally, the problem was that they didn't find it themselves. When I say they, the archaeologist teams, led by a Dominican father called Father DeVoe, who had been a Vatican diplomat right before the scrolls were found, and when the partition occurred in Jerusalem, he was Johnny on the spot to take advantage of the situation, not only as a diplomat, but as a very able political negotiator. So the Jordanian authorities were not interested in having anything to do with the scrolls. So basically, as the Vatican representative in the new Jordan, Palestine, the partition having already occurred, he presented himself as a person who could deal with the situation. So they let it over to him to control the scrolls coming in from Jordan at that time. From 1948 onwards, the partition had occurred, so where the scrolls were being found was in Jordan, or occupied Jordan, the West Bank. We're sitting in the West Bank area here, recaptured by Israel in 1967. Between 48 and 67, therefore, Father DeVoe and his colleagues, the ones he chose and vetted, had complete control. In 1952, when Father DeVoe heard, after Cave 1 had been found, which had been found in the middle of the Arab-Israeli fighting, that there were more scrolls coming in, the Bedouins had found more scrolls, and not the archaeologists or the Dominican fathers who he represented, he sent a survey team out in the field. This was run by Dominican fathers, and the people they used were Bedouins. So Cave 2 is what triggered it in 52. They didn't find that, but they found Cave 3. Cave 3 is up about a kilometer in the actual limestone cliffs. These are limestone marls, limestone mixed with mud, and that's why we call them marls. And so Cave 3 had the copper scroll lying on the floor, just open, 2 rolls of copper. Turned out to be an incredible find, the temple treasure list, but not much else in Cave 3. The next cave found was this one, therefore we call it Cave 4. This was also found in 1952, and the point of this one is that DeVoe's surveyors had missed this cave, even though from where he was digging on the plateau of Qumran, where the ruins are, it's visible by eye. He was questioned about that, and he said, well, he didn't think it was important, something on the marls, or else other times he's quoted, I think, as saying, I can't be sure, he didn't see anything here. Regardless of what he said, he didn't find it, and the Bedouin found that right after he did his survey, which is very suspicious if not upsetting, and when the survey stopped and DeVoe went home, they cleaned this cave out completely and sent all the fragments up to Jerusalem. And one of the painful aspects of their having done that was the Bedouin worked in work gangs. And they had to pay each other off for the money they received. Now the official team, what we call the international team, run by DeVoe and his colleagues, and we also call them the consensus because they developed the theory of Qumran origins called the Essene theory. The consensus group thought that the way to stop a black market in scrolls was to set an official price for whatever they brought in. So they hit on a certain number of piastres, say 30 piastres per square centimeter. I don't know the exact price. It seemed rational to them at the time, but the problem was it worked to the detriment of large manuscripts. When the Bedouins worked as a team and they found a large piece, and let's say 5 or 10 Bedouin had been working on this, they would just rip it up in little pieces, give all the work members a piece of the manuscript, they'd take it up to the Jerusalem authorities and get their per square centimeter payment. This, we think, we don't have the proof of it, added to the destruction of the materials here in this cave. That gets us to your original question. What was found here in this cave? What was found here in this cave, aside from the terribly bad condition and the numerous fragments, were, we estimate, around 2,600 different manuscripts. Of those, some were found in multiple copies. So we actually have 800 or so different documents. In this cave, therefore, this was the motherlode of all Qumran documents. Unfortunately, the condition was extremely poor of a lot of them. But through scholarly research and careful examination, you could basically tell what kind of manuscript you were dealing with through handwriting styles. You could match up the fragments with the same handwriting.